Hey, Good News peeps, how's everyone doing? It's lunchtime. Well, after the lunch hour. Have you had lunch already?
I have not.
Oh, okay, me neither.
We'll go get some after this. Yeah.
Hey, friends. Good afternoon. It's your girl, Grizzy, and I'm here with Steve Hollingsworth from the Hollingsworth Law Firm. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm great. I'm doing great. We've had some hiccups this week, but we're good.
Yeah. New building coming soon,
New building,
right?
yeah. We were talking about that with Grizzy. We're getting a new building. We bought a new commercial building over off 290 in Tacoma area, so we're moving in there next week. Nice. Had some people ransack some of the air conditioning. So Grizzy and I were just talking about, as appropriate, I know Grizzy was earlier at the commissioner's court and seeing all the arguing about the pay raises. Well, we do need police, ladies and gentlemen, because theft and everything else is occurring. We don't do criminal law. We do personal injury law, but theft is out there, and
nobody's immune to it.
Nobody's immune to it.
You guys have this nice building that's under construction and underway, and the bandits, they found a way to snip through the iron gate, and what did they steal?
They sold 2 compressors, air conditioner compressors.
Oh my God.
Cut through iron bars. So pay your cops. If you're listening to this, Harris County, pay your cops and sheriff's officers.
Yes.
Because we need them.
We need our law enforcement. Our friend is his place of business took a hit with bandits.
Yeah, bandits. Yeah, they got it. So, but
we'll see if we can work on a come on down.
Okay, but we'll see if we can get a come on down for this.
Oh my God,
SOBs.
Yes. Man, that's some wild stuff, friend. I can't believe it. The audacity.
But the audacity. Cut through iron bars. Yeah. So pay your cops.
Oh my goodness.
Appreciate your cops and let them do their job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what's new over at the Hollingsworth Law Firm? How's everything going?
Just hustling, man. We brought on another attorney. He's very experienced, so we got somebody else to help us with our litigation practice, and I think he'll do a great job, and we've been getting some good results lately. And actually, one of the things I want to talk about here in a bit is we actually had somebody call from one of these videos that saw us this morning, but she made a mistake and she waited 1.5 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that here in a bit on how to handle accidents and how to get, whether you call me, whether you call anybody else, get in touch with somebody because but we'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, we're going to try to help her how we can, but she waited 1.5 years, and so that kind of doesn't help matters.
Hold on, let me make sure.
But we appreciate them reaching out to us. For definite sure.
For sure.
Let's get some branding.
Oh yeah. See,
get some branding in there.
Bam, got it.
You want a cup? Come get a cup.
Hey, call us the phone number 713-637-4560. Se habla español.
Se habla español.
De la ley.
Ni poquito, but staff everybody.
Yes.
Everybody speaks Spanish.
For sure.
Chinese, Vietnamese, whatever we need to speak.
All right.
Yeah.
So speaking of this woman, this potential client's delay. What should somebody do immediately after an accident? We can learn a lot from the mistake that has been made.
Yeah, and it's not a case killer.
Yeah.
But I'll just give you a prime example. This is no lie, no BS. This morning we had a lady call that saw one of these videos. She heard what we talk about. Getting the message out there about how to get, how to help. And I saw Grizzy jumping on some quote unquote ambulance chasers earlier today. And so, we try not to be that, fit in that category, and we can talk about that too. But what she did is she got hit, tore a rotator cuff, got hit from behind, I think it was, and waited 1.5 years to give us a call. She never opened a claim. She went to the hospital via ambulance. She got physical therapy, but just never made a claim. So they called us this morning. They're hopefully going to sign up and be able to help them. But she waited 1.5 years. So in Texas, just to let y'all know, you have 2 years, up to 2 years from the date of the accident to make a claim, to file a lawsuit on your personal injury claim of any sort. And there's things that fall under 4 years, but the rule of thumb is 2 years from the date of accident. You need to make a call. You need to get somebody on board, whether it's a Hollingsworth law firm or somebody. Get them on board to help you. And preferable, it would be the day or a couple of days afterwards. We've talked about that many times. But, so she's only got 6 months left to file a lawsuit on her case. We can do that. We've worked on better or quicker issues than that, or more hot issues, as I call them. But just call somebody immediately. Don't let them call you. Like a lot of these people I get in a car wreck and somehow these people get my number and they start calling me and inundating me. Don't talk to those people, okay?
No,
don't talk to those people.
You don't want that.
No, you don't want that. That's the ambulance chasers that Grizzy was referring to in a post earlier today. I think about a poor lady somebody got ran over. A little child got ran over and killed, and they don't know who hit them because person fled.
I already had people messaging me, what's their last name? I was like, no,
Yeah.
respect, don't do that. Don't do that.
You can't do that.
I like, we love and care on our community, and you don't want to do that.
No, that's straight up ambulance chasing, and that's illegal and unethical.
Yeah.
And so look up somebody you trust. Hopefully you trust us from this information we give you, and what we do for the public with Grizzy. But even if it's not us, call somebody quickly, because there's people out there to help you, and get on board. Investigative teams can help find the people who did this and get cameras that hopefully the cameras were in the area to see the person that ran off, get their license plate, get some identifying information, get something to help you. So the first thing you should do, take care of yourself, make sure you're safe. Get to medical treatment as quickly as possible. Why? Because the insurance company, although they're going to say your friend, they're going to say they're your friend, they're going to say they're there to help you, their job is to get your case settled as quickly and as cheaply as possible. So they're going to throw some money at you potentially, and hey, this may sound like a lot to you, but it's not. So you want to get, and also if you delay medical treatment, they are then going to say, hey, you weren't hurt, you didn't get medical treatment. Even though anybody who's ever worked out or done anything like that or been injured knows a lot of times it doesn't manifest or doesn't appear until later on that you start hurting and start being sore or whatever.
That's true.
2-3 days later. And so, but go as quickly as you can to your local ER, to an ER, Methodist, whatever, and get checked out just so you have a record that you got checked out, because insurance companies will dang sure hold that against you. The next thing you want to do, talking about the areas of police officers and sheriff's officers and things like that, you want to call the cops. Okay, call the cops, have them come out to the scene of the incident, because they will make a report and will only help and benefit you in your case. Now, do we understand that everybody's understaffed, everybody's underworked in the police departments these days, unfortunately? Yes, they are. So sometimes you may have to wait an hour, 2 hours, hopefully not that long, but sometimes longer, we've heard of. But get somebody out there as quick as you can. Call 911, 311, whatever it needs to be, because then you have a record of what happened. Otherwise, the insurance company is going to say, well, we don't believe you what happened, so we're going to fight you tooth and nail on that. And so you want to get that as quickly as possible. We understand the cops are overworked, but give them time, have patience with them, let them get out there, let them make note of the scene, make note of witnesses, things like that, get the insurance information so that they can help you. Sometimes you may have to go down to the station and get, I think it's a blue form, we call it. You got to make your own report, but definitely do that because that will only help your case. And then, as I got to pitch, call the Hollingsworth Law Firm and we can help you, 713-637-4560. And before you talk to the insurance company, before you talk to any insurance company, give us a call, because you may not have been involved in something like this. And so you don't know what to say. You don't know what you may say something wrong. You may think it's innocent. And
they will use that against you.
And they will use it against you every day.
Yeah.
And so you want to talk to somebody, at least get a consultation, at least get a free consultation, and that kind of segues into our next subject. But get a free consultation from us, and hey, we'll tell you if we can't help you. We'll be honest with you. If we can help you, we'll dang sure try to help you as much as we can, or at least give you the advice we can. Which segues into the next question that Grizzy has about no win, no pay policy. Okay. And so how does that work?
Yes. What is that? Like for those that don't know, like myself, no win, no pay. What does that mean?
Yeah, no win, no pay. You see all the personal injury lawyers advertise it. We advertise it. We don't win. You don't get money. You don't pay us. So what that means is, so a lot of times you can get medical care. If you don't have health insurance, for sure, you can get medical care through the lawyer. The lawyer doesn't do your medical care, but they can hook you up with reputable doctors that can help you if you don't have health insurance. And so what happens then is the lawyer and some of the medical providers potentially don't get paid until you win your case, until you get money. Okay. And so that's what you have to understand. And if something goes wrong with your case, hey, not every case is a winner. That's just a fact of life. But if we don't win, we don't recover on your behalf, you don't owe us anything.
Wow.
Okay. Now, has there been cases? We're not perfect. We don't win them all. Nobody does. If somebody tells you they do win them all, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
And so, but there's been instances where we've lost and we've had to eat some money, and that's fine. It is what it is. Do we like it? No, we don't. But that's why we work hard to win as much as we can.
Yeah.
But if there is an incident out there that we do, happen to not get full recovery or not win, and you don't get paid, then we don't get paid either. And so we want everybody to understand that it's called a contingency fee. that we don't get paid unless you do. And so, I call it, in tongue in cheek, I call it a gambler's business, because we can win a lot and we can lose a lot. But that's why you have to hire somebody that's experienced and knows what they're doing, so that they can make the right calls, know how to evaluate a case and work it up on your behalf, and so that you can get paid. And frankly, it's how we make a living. It's how we get paid too. But that's how it works. That's how the no fee, no win guarantee. So basically, we don't get paid unless you get paid. You're not going to owe us a check. Hey, we didn't win. You didn't get any money, but you owe us X amount of dollars. You got to write us a check now. That's not how it works. You don't write a check unless the insurance company, you never write a check. The insurance company writes the check, and then we get paid and you get paid out of the insurance proceeds. And that's the way it works.
All right. So you only owe legal fees.
Yes.
If, they successfully secure that win.
Yes. Unless we successfully secure a win from the insurance company or whoever we're going after, you don't get paid. You don't owe anyone unless you get money in your pocket.
All right. Friend, so real quick, just going back, because somebody said, look, friend, sometimes y'all send me videos of accidents and stuff, and that helps so much, other people that find themselves in hit and runs or whatever the case it may be, right? The peeps are really good. Like the accident scenes, we're always getting pictures, videos, all that kind of stuff. We're able to
dash cam
footage, all of that. So when somebody finds themselves in an accident, it is so important for them to take pictures, right? That is so important, because not always will you have eyes of good Samaritans and stuff like that.
If you
videos as well.
Yeah, if you're able to, at the scene of the accident, sometimes you're too hurt. You don't want to get out of your car. You're in the middle of a freeway, something like that. You don't want to do that. But if at all possible, take photographs of the area, take photographs of your car, take photographs of the car who hit you, so that you have documented proof of what happened. And then even if you take it to the repair shop, take it there and get pictures of your own there. And make sure to save those so you can share them with your lawyer later, so they can then share them with the insurance company to help your case.
Yeah, document as much as you can. You want to document.
Document, get witness statements, all those things. You want to do all that.
All right. So call a Hollingsworth law firm, so as soon as you can, to protect your rights, so you know what to, expect. You don't want to navigate this process alone.
No.
You don't want to do that.
You don't.
Yes, because we have peeps a year and a half later reaching out,
Yeah, which we appreciate.
Yes,
we appreciate her reaching out. And
yeah,
she watched
that's
one of these,
amazing.
Her husband watched one of these videos, and we definitely appreciate it. But do it quicker.
Yes,
that's all I can say. Do it quicker.
Yes.
A lot quicker.
And this makes it easier for everyone to get the legal help that they need without worrying, later down the line.
Exactly.
Okay, so another question that comes up with the Hood News peeps: what if I was injured at work? Can I still file a lawsuit?
Yes, you can, but it's two things. There's two cuts on that.
Yeah.
One is if your work had workers' compensation. If your work had workers' compensation, you can sue through workers' compensation, and you can get compensated that way. However, if your work does not have workers' compensation, and this applies to plants, refineries, things like that, if they don't have workers' compensation, and they're called a non-subscriber in Texas, then you can sue individually your company. If they do have workers' compensation and you were hurt on the job by something from your actual job, then no, you have to go through your workers' compensation, most likely. However, if something like a third party, like it's a lot of the times at the plants or refineries, there's a third party involved, like a transportation company, something like that causes your injury, well then you may not be able to sue your actual employer. You may not need to, because they didn't cause the injury, but what you do is you sue the third party, the person who was responsible for the accident, even though you were on your job. You may have to get treatment through workers' compensation,
right.
and out of your settlement, you may owe workers' compensation money back.
Okay.
It's called a lien, workers' comp lien is what we call it in the industry.
Yeah.
And so you may have that, but what will ultimately happen is you will get compensated for that lien from the third party. But if it's something, you slip and fall at your job or something, and it's your work, you think it's your boss's fault or the company's fault or something like that, yes, you can sue your company if they don't have workers' compensation. If they have workers' compensation, you have to go through them. Now, you need a workers' compensation lawyer. There's people out there we can point you towards, but if they don't have workers' compensation, you can sue them directly.
What if somebody gets struck by a forklift?
Oh, that opens a whole host of things.
Yeah.
Who was operating the forklift?
Yes.
Who was responsible for the forklift? All those things. Who do you sue in that? That goes to investigation. That's why you call us, get a free consultation. We'll ask you, hey, who was driving the forklift? Was it somebody part of your job? Was it a third party? Was it a contracted company? Who was it that was doing these things that caused the injury? And that way we know who to go after. And that's, you got to go through that through a free consultation.
Okay.
They say that goes back to the no win, no fee. You get a free consultation. We can help you. We'll tell you we can help you.
And
We'll
that
get you
kind of
signed
scenario is one that you probably have dealt with.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, no, actually, I've totally dealt with a worker. I'm trying to think of the exact facts. It's been a few years, but we had a guy that was on a forklift, and I think it fell over and it crushed his leg.
Ooh.
And so we had to sue the people that maintained the forklift and things like that. The operation, was he properly trained? All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely if something happens like that, you're injured on an industrial job, then definitely that's something we can talk about, and see if we can help you.
Friend, I got one for you, okay? Hey, friends, y'all gonna probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, there was a recent, maybe about a few months ago, right? There was a car meet. And there were a bunch of food trucks hosting it and a bunch of local little businesses.
Okay.
And see, people were concerned, other businesses and other people were concerned because there's donuts happening in there, all kinds of craziness. And something really bad did happen. Somebody
got hit and killed or
somebody
something?
was trying to get to their car and they got hit by somebody doing donuts.
Okay.
Do you represent those kind of situations?
Well, I would, but we would, again, call us for a free consultation
Okay.
because here's what I would look at in that situation.
Yes.
If you're at a situation where somebody's doing donuts and there's food trucks, well, who's putting that on? Who's sponsoring that?
Yeah.
Did they know these things were going to be happening? Did they have knowledge that, or should they have knowledge that people are going to be doing negligent activities and spinning their cars around and hitting people? And if they said, hey, that's okay, you can go spin your cars around like this, and we're sponsoring it, even though there's food trucks and people everywhere around, well, then you could potentially sue the promoter. There's the word I'm looking for, promoter. You can sue the promoter potentially, and you can dang sure sue the driver of the car that's doing these donuts, things like that, because they're operating their car in a negligent fashion.
Yeah.
If it wasn't negligent, if it wasn't irresponsible, they wouldn't have hit you, would they? And so you can look at things like that. So definitely, again, that's one of those moving part situations that if you get hurt, something like that, give us a call. Get a free consultation. We'll tell you, hey, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're going to aim for, and we can help you or we can't. And there you go. But you get a free consultation. Doesn't cost you anything but a few minutes of your time. We have people answering the phone 24/7 that can definitely talk to you and get you educated on that and figure out if we can help you or not.
Yes, call Hollingsworth to explore all your legal options. That way you're in the know and he can help you figure out what's the best plan for action for you.
Yeah.
Every case is unique.
Every case is different.
Yes.
And we get that a lot too. We get hey, my buddy or my granddad or somebody, was in an accident and he got $1 bazillion and you're only telling me I get, $10,000. Why am I not getting the same? Because every case is different. That guy might have had catastrophic injuries. That guy might have got hit by somebody with a really big insurance company. Or a really big insurance policy. You may have got hit by somebody with a minimum insurance policy, $30,000, and that's all you can get. We actually had somebody in here the other day that again came through Grizzy, and I had an hour and a half long conversation with him and his mother and his sister about they had been hit by somebody they suspected was drunk. They weren't sure they were drunk, and they were asking what are the options? Well, we shot them straight and we said, look, if this person had a minimum policy in Texas, odds are, which is $30,000 for one person, $30,000 minimum policy in Texas, most likely that would be everything you can get. I think this guy was driving around in an 02 Buick LeSabre or something.
Oh,
so I'm sorry, Hood News Pete. If you're driving around in an 02 Buick LeSabre, you probably don't have a lot of money. And so you probably don't have a big insurance policy to go with that. And so, are you going to be limited, unfortunately, in what you potentially can get? Yes, you are. But here's the counter to that. Here's what we tell all the Hood News peeps that face that situation. Go get yourself underinsured motorist protection. So if you go get hit by somebody that doesn't have enough insurance to cover your injuries, you can then go, hey, my own insurance policy that I've been paying you a lot of money for a lot of years, your time to help me. Your time to pay me for this because this other person wasn't responsible, didn't carry enough insurance coverage, and I got hurt by them, so I need underinsured motorist protection. So go look at your insurance policies. I know that's not something everybody wants to do every day, but when you need it, You're going to want it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trust me on that. You know, like personal injury lawyers, you're listening to me talk out there. I got a bunch of people watching and you're thinking, oh, I don't need this guy. I'm not hurt. No, you don't right now. Thank God. But you may. And if you do someday, I want you to have the information to act on so that when you do need us, you're equipped to do it properly. And, you know, or your family member. So hope to God, as I tell people when I hand them their check, when we get our closing here in the firm, I say, I hope to never see you in this capacity again. And I mean that. I don't know people get hurt, but I don't cause it. We just pick up the pieces. And that's what we do, and we're dang good at it. And so so that's what we look at. But you want to have underinsured motorist protection to protect you against somebody else, either A, that doesn't have insurance and hits you, and you know you're SOL, basically, you're out of luck on that, or you have somebody who has underinsured protection. So if they don't have enough to cover your damages, you can go after your own insurance company to say, hey, this person wasn't responsible. I've been paying y'all a lot of money for years. Help me out. Get me compensated. And that's something that we can talk about. Again, free consultation. We can talk about it with you, explain the process, things like that.
Already. He said, dang good at it. I love that. I love it.
We do well. As one of my attorneys said the other day, sometimes you got to stand on business.
Yeah, already. I love that. Yes, friend.
So we know we're good at it, and we got a bank account.
He's got years. Yes. He's got years of experience. You're not going to get some crazy staff that doesn't answer you. You're not going to have unanswered emails or unanswered phone calls or no communication with this man and his attorneys and his staff and crew. No, and they speak different languages too. He's got a great office staff. Like they are family. And they're like this, and they're going to take care of you in the same capacity. And
we also, one thing is we will make sure to communicate with you. And here's something that I hear often from people that have complaints about being in a personal injury lawsuit is, my case got settled and I didn't even know it, and then they just sent me a check or something like that. Well, no, that's not how it works.
That happened to me.
That happened to Grizzy. There you go. She was in a personal injury lawsuit, hired somebody that before she knew anybody good.
Yeah, for real, friend.
For real.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they just basically said, hey, this is what you get. You don't have any say in it. You don't have any whatever in it. That's not the way things should work. What should happen is we should be negotiating on your behalf, and then we call you and say, hey, this is what they're offering. This is what you stand to get after, you know, frankly, paying us and paying the medical bills and everything else. This is what you should get. And so what that leads to is communication and you having a say in your case. It's your case. We're your representatives. It's not our case. We're not the one that got hurt. We're not the one that has to deal with all the mess that you have to deal with. But we try to take that weight off of you using our experience to negotiate to get you more compensation. And we try to work with you, communicate with you to let you know, hey, that's not enough, Steve. That's not enough to get me where I wanted to be. What are my options? What do we need to do next? And we'll shoot you straight on that. And we'll tell you the pros and cons of that, tell you the pros and cons of moving forward, tell you the pros and cons of cost, everything else, because things aren't free in life, unfortunately. And that's just, you know, but we'll communicate with you. You won't just say, oh, hey, your case is done and we didn't tell you about it and we didn't talk to you about it. That's not the way we operate.
I love that. What else makes Hollingsworth Law Firm different from other? That what he's saying is one of the components, like, you know, the great office, the honesty, the transparency, and the team.
Yeah, we're not perfect. I don't sit here and say we are. We got, you know, everybody's got, you know, blind spots. But one thing when I started my firm, one thing I pride ourselves on is communication with clients. You know, if you are one of our clients and you're not getting communication either via text or phone call or however, or email or whatever we need to do to communicate with you, number one, call us. Say, hey, I haven't heard from you. Just because you don't hear from a lawyer doesn't mean they're not working on your case. A lot of times they're doing things behind the scenes that you don't know about, you don't need to know about, because that's why you hire people to do a job on your behalf, and they'll communicate with, or we will communicate with you when we need to. But if you do want information on your case or on the situation, or you have questions or whatever that arise, then what you want to do, give us a call. We will, and if you don't get a call back within 24 hours or some kind of text message or email, some kind of acknowledgement of the communication that we want to get back with you within 24 hours, then you call me, ask for me, tell me, hey, people aren't getting back to me, and I'll take care of the situation. Because that is one thing that before I opened my own firm years ago, I always used to hear, oh, lawyers don't communicate, lawyers don't get back to me, all this fun stuff. And it's true, they don't. So that's one thing I try to do to separate ourselves Another thing we do, we're experienced. We're a bunch of experienced trial lawyers. You know, me personally, I've tried on the defense side, insurance defense, and for people like the Hood News peeps, I've tried over 50 first-chair jury trials. Also as an assistant district attorney a long time ago. But we've tried all these cases, so we know what both sides look like. We know what things look like from both sides, so we can evaluate your case properly. And also, we have lawyers working here. A lot of firms don't even have lawyers working there, and is what it is. And so, you know, you want to go with somebody you trust, you know, somebody who's not contacting you. You know, you want to contact them. You want to get some reputable recommendations and things like that. Because if they're contacting you, they're trying to hustle your case. They're trying to ambulance chase your case, as Grizzy had to call out earlier today on the situation. And, you know, she, if you go look at an earlier video she did, she's calling them out, having to block them. You know, they're trying to get information when they shouldn't be. And so they can illegally solicit a case. Frankly, it happens all the time, unfortunately. It's a bad problem in Houston and the state of Texas. But you have to protect yourself. That's why you're sitting here watching a video like this, so that you can see, you know, you go to somebody you trust, go to somebody, talk to them. And if you talk to them and you trust them and you believe in them and you believe in their experience, and they tell you, you know, maybe not exactly what you want to hear, but they're able to communicate what this process looks like to you efficiently, and that's who you want to go with. Okay, you don't want to go with somebody who's, you know, giving a tow truck driver their card or something like that, because that's, you know, unfortunately pretty rampant too. Pick up the phone, you know, do a search on the internet, look at good reviews. Hollingsworth Law Firm thankfully has all 5-star reviews. I think we got 2 1-star reviews from some people who, you know, you can't please everybody, right? But that's 2 out of hundreds. Okay, so that's what we look at. And so, you know, definitely do your research. You know, you may not hire me. That's okay. Hire somebody you trust. Hire somebody you want to go to. Hire somebody you feel great with.
It's got to be really rewarding, right? To see the end result, you know, after somebody's been through something so traumatizing, painful, you know, where they lose a lot of time from work, and to help them get to that place where they're physically a little better, and then they get compensated. That's got to be what you do. Your line of work has to be very rewarding.
It's rewarding in the sense that, yes, we've gotten the person what we can get them. Unfortunately, we can't lay hands on people and make them better. All we can do, you know, I tell juries this when we're picking juries, all we can do is get them compensation to help pay for the things that they need to help make their life better. And that's not money. Money can't fix everything. Okay, we've represented burn victims that are scarred up for life, and you can't fix that person. You can't. Unfortunately, you just can't. But what we can do is get them a ton of money to help them mental health, you know, issues, more surgeries, more issues down the road that they're going to need. And, you know, if somebody has a back surgery or somebody has a bad back problem, we can get them money that can help pay for a surgery down the road if they don't have it involved in the case, so that they can get what they need to help them later on down the road. You know, unfortunately, nobody out there can say, hey, you're healed, you're all better. But so what we can do is get them money to help them, put them back in the best place we can put them back in before the accident happens.
Because you deal with people who will never be in the same way ever. Like you said, burn. Yeah, like they're gonna be constantly needing treatments, and those are injuries that they need to get lifetime support. You know, because you got to factor in all of that too. And that some people can't, like that. Those things are expensive.
Very expensive. I mean, back surgeries can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Skin graft surgery, she's talking about the burn victim, can be don't even know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But one of the things is, as a lot of Hood News people, Hood News peeps out there watching right now, you may have, unfortunately, back problems, and you fully understand that back problems, once they're caused, don't go away.
No, they don't.
And, you know, even with a surgery, they don't completely go away. And so if somebody hits you, you know, 18-wheeler, big old thousands of pound vehicle hits you, and you are injured, your back, typical injuries are neck and back. Oh, you hear that all the time. Oh, my neck, oh, my back, all that. But it's true. Typical injuries from getting hit from behind or something like that, or turning or getting twisted, are back and neck injuries. And so what happens is they start pressing on nerves, you start losing feeling, you start getting numbness, you know, you start having pain in your extremities, your arms, your legs, things like that, that you're not going to get over that. You can get relief through chiropractic care, through pain management care, through physical therapy care, and you can get some relief through surgery, but you're never going to be the same. So what we have to do, our job, is to get you compensation to help you manage that pain, manage those issues for the rest of your life as best we can. And that, like I said earlier, is what we're dang good at. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about semi trucks or like what should somebody do if they get hit by like an 18-wheeler or somebody in that category, like, and they were negligent, like what should they do?
Yeah, like, so there's a lot of 18-wheeler drivers out there, and I'm going to get a lot of comments from 18-wheeler drivers, and they're always say, well, the cars are, always cutting in front of us, things like that. We always get that. We always get that, and I appreciate it, and we appreciate what the truckers do, frankly.
Yes, we do.
Truckers keep the world going around. They do. I mean, if they weren't delivering product, and they weren't delivering your toilet paper and your supplies and your bananas and everything to grocery stores, you wouldn't have them. So you've got to have truckers out there. But there are negligent truckers out there. There are people who aren't paying attention. There are people who are overworked. There are people who are falling asleep. There are people who are on their phones texting and not paying attention.
Scary.
So guess what? You, like that one in Austin, there was a couple of months ago, there was one bad in Austin where a trucker, they think he was on drugs. Nobody knows for sure yet. And he plowed into people and killed a few people and hurt a number of others. And so, yes, does it happen? Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
And so what you have to hold responsible is, you have to hold the driver responsible, number one, but you also have to hold the company responsible. The company is ultimately responsible for putting that driver on the road, training them, pushing them to work hours that they shouldn't work, keeping them, on the road when they maybe shouldn't be on the road because they're trying to get, an extra buck, things like that. So you pay for it when you get hit by one of them. And so what you want to do if you're hit by one of them, again, call the Hollingsworth Law Firm as quickly as you can, but you want to get documentation of who the company was, take pictures of the company, especially if they try to flee or something like that, because that happens too. And so you want to find out, some identifying information on the side of the truck. And so that, later on after you talk with us, we can identify the truck and get things, move in the right direction. These are more complicated cases. And so what you want to do, we would then send a preservation letter it's called a preservation letter. We'd send it to the trucking company so they keep the truck. We would go download the truck's black box like in planes, and we would find out how fast the truck was going, how, we'd look at their driver log books to see how long they'd been on the road. We'd look at, did they take evasive action just before the accident? All these things, we'd look at their training schedule. We'd look at all these things to find out why this went wrong. And then we would hold the company and the driver, but more so, frankly, the company responsible for that accident. So again, if you're hit by an 18-wheeler, you're hit by a commercial vehicle, 713-637-4560, Hollingsworth Law Firm. Give us a call. We'll get you a free consultation. Not saying we can help you on all of them, but we'll do it. We'll help you if we can. But yes, you need to act fast. Go get medical treatment as quickly as you can, because even if you feel like, hey, like I said earlier, my neck, my back isn't that hurt at the time of the accident, because guess what? You get hit by an 18-wheeler, you're going to be like, oh crap.
Yeah.
You're going to be in shock. Your adrenaline's going to be going, everything else. And so you won't really feel it until later, but you'll feel it. And you'll feel it later on, and you need to go get medical treatment as quick as possible to make sure that, you're covering your bases. So the insurance company comes back and says, well, you weren't hurt. You didn't go get treatment. Then you can be like, aha, yes, I did. And here's what happened to me. And so that helps us, helps you help us, frankly, on your behalf, is what that does.
Friend, I also wanted to touch another point because, like murders at apartments.
You're getting a marriage proposal, Grizzy.
What?
Yeah.
Grizzy, I love you. Let's get married. Oh my God, dude. Like, you know what? As much mean stuff as I get sometimes from the bandits, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that proposal. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to take it. Finally, somebody nice talking to me. Somebody talking nice to me. I sometimes, friends, I deal with a lot of...
Oh, you do?
He already knows.
Grizzy and I have talked about this over the time we've worked together.
Yes.
And you put yourself out in the public sphere like this, you're going to get haters.
Yes.
But hey, you're going to get people who love you too.
Yes.
Look, Grizzy, you're a very beautiful woman.
Thank
Look
you,
at that.
Fred.
So there, look, Grizzy,
oh my
you're
God.
getting all the compliments now.
No. Thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. We'll talk another time, friend. But yeah, if you find yourself, Wes, if you find yourself in an accident, call my friend. Yeah, I'll come visit.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, so
But anyways, we digress.
Yeah. Look, let me there was somebody that had a question real quick. Hold on.
Somebody got a question.
Yeah.
Y'all, last time y'all asked a lot of great questions. So if y'all got questions, feel free to ask them.
Look who's watching.
KHOU.
KHOU.
Free advertising. Hey, I love free advertising.
Channel 11.
Thanks for watching Channel 11.
Yeah, thank you. That's so cool. That's what's up. Man, hold on. Let me see. We got a lot of peeps in the house. What's up, friends? How y'all doing? Check in. Give me some thumbs up. Can you still hear us? Are you still here? All right. I would like to know.
What's the thing?
Okay. Here's one. I would like to know if it's possible to file a lawsuit against a former employer or their last employer for not allowing them to come back to work with the doctor's note saying I can come back to work. I guess they must have been injured or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'll be frank with you. We do personal injury law. That would fall under employment law.
Okay.
However, if that person, Kimberly, looks like, if Kimberly, give us a call. I'm not going to say we can help you because we don't do employment law, but we do know employment lawyers we could refer you to if you want to. If you want to discuss that with us, be happy to help you on that. But we do 100% personal injury law. So I don't know if we could help you in that situation.
All right.
Look, Grizzly's having to delete comments now. So
Yeah.
You got haters.
Yeah,
haters and lovers everywhere.
Yeah, lovers, more lovers than anything. Yeah, we had a, like we're real pro. I'm real like pro support of police. They're the stars in the cast of the Hood News. I mean, we see them all the time on the Hood News, and I've learned to appreciate.
Look, the police get a bad rap too.
Yeah.
And just like everything, just like there's bad PI lawyers, there's bad everything. There's bad officers. There are.
Yeah.
I used to be a district attorney. I dealt with them. And so, you're going to have good apples and bad apples, and the 2 or 3 bad apples over here spoil the 100 good apples over here.
Yeah.
So that's just life, and you just got to take people as they come.
Friends, so yeah, the main points that we want y'all to know is,
hey Tiffany Rochelle,
hey
how
Tiffany,
are you?
hey Sharon wants to jump on the video. Yes, what's up? So let me see. Yeah, just document everything. Be ready because we never know. We're in a big city, Houston. There's like people say we never know from one moment to the next what can happen. There was just a really ugly accident right now on Beaumont, on I guess it's Highway 90.
Down in Beaumont?
Yeah, there was a horrible accident. I didn't get too many details, but I started getting a lot of video. And you want to have that number put away, like, because we don't wish for anybody to ever get hurt. Like you say, like.
Well, no, you don't wish for anybody to get hurt. Yeah, you don't wish for anybody to get hurt. Look, it is what it is. I used to, I'll be frank, somebody used to tell me, you make your living off of human misery. It's kind of true, but what I respond to that is, I don't cause it. I'm not out there causing these wrecks. They're going to happen whether I'm here or not. What I'm here to do is I'm here to help you pick up the pieces from that accident, from you getting hurt. I'm not causing it. Somebody else is causing it. And then we got to hold them responsible. And that's our job, is to hold them responsible and help you pick up the pieces as much as possible. So yeah, people are like, oh, blood-sucking lawyer, ambulance chaser, all that. We hear it.
He's not like that. I can attest. Yeah, he's not like that.
Yeah, there's unethical lawyers out there, just like there's unethical cops, there's unethical everything. And so, but you just have to get recommendations, look at reviews, talk to people you trust, and hire who you trust. Talk to who you trust. If you talk to somebody and you're like, I don't trust that guy or that girl, well, don't work with them. Don't do it. Yeah. But if you feel a good if you go through their experience and feel like they're doing a good job on your behalf and you trust what they're saying, work with them. Okay, that's how you have to handle things. There's good and bad in every industry.
So let's say, okay, this is another thing I saw in there, like, I get in an accident, but I don't feel hurt. What's your advice about that?
Well, the advice is go get checked out anyways, okay? The advice is go to an ER, go to your primary care, go to wherever, get checked out anyways, because a few days later, you may feel it. You may not. Hey, and that's great. If you're not hurt, move on with your life, go on down the road. That's okay. But if you are, just get checked out just to make sure, because I can tell you, if you do pop up and you're like, oh crap, I feel like crap later on, then what's going to happen is, the insurance company is going to for sure say, well, we don't believe you were hurt by this. Did you do something in between this wreck and this to get hurt? And they'll say that. Did you fall down? Did you lift something wrong? Did you sleep wrong? Did you do something? Anything to mitigate what they're going to have to pay. So you want to go get checked out, get documentation of it as quickly as possible through your medical records. And so that you can, if you have a case, you can help make the case. And so that's what we say. So yeah, that's what you do there.
Another question that somebody asked: I find myself in an accident, but I can't afford an attorney.
That's you don't have to afford us.
Yes,
you don't pay us. Yeah, you don't pay us unless you win. And frankly, you don't ever. That's something people don't understand. Is if you hire me as a PI lawyer, personal injury lawyer, on back. Let's say you get rear-ended going down 610 North, right where our office is.
That's gonna that happens.
Yeah, that happens all the time, every day. There'll probably be one within the next hour.
Yes.
But if you get rear-ended going down 610 and you get hurt, you will never write at least in my law firm, you will never write a check out of your own checkbook to me. What will happen is we will represent you. We will work against the against with the insurance company to get you compensated, and we will get you a check from the insurance company on your behalf to get you compensated that will then pay me, pay your medical providers, and pay yourself out of that insurance money. So you will not open your checkbook and write me a check. That will never happen. And then if, God forbid, something goes wrong and we lose your case, it happens, very rare, but it happens, everybody does, then what will happen then is you will not pay anybody. And it just happens. You just, I eat the cost, I eat whatever we spent. And like I said earlier in the video, it's a gambler's business in some degree, that you have to know how to properly evaluate cases, know how to properly work with cases, so that I can look at a case and say, hey, I'm going to make some money on this because that's my living and that's my job. So we're here to help this person, and we can help them, and we can get them the result that we want to get, and we can get our result too, because we got to get paid at the end of the day. It is what it is. We don't do this for free. Nobody does it for free.
Okay. So, I've got a Hood News peep here named Janice.
Okay. Hey, Janice.
And Janice, let me tell you her situation. I'm so glad I see her. Hey, Janice, I love you, friend, and I'm so sorry. Listen to this, you guys. Listen to Janice. Janice has been reaching out to me. She's got a lot of problems. She's got mold. She's been to the hospital. She almost died. And the doctors are telling her it's from the exposure to her horrible living conditions at some apartments that she lives in. She pays rent. She lives with a lot of mold. Like, she sent me pictures. I'm working my end so I can blast this situation.
Apartment complex.
Yes. Yeah. Can you go after a situation like that?
You can.
This lady is literally dying, friend.
Well, number one, Janice, you need to send notice, if you haven't already, written notice to your apartment complex of the condition. You need to do that today, it sounds like. And you need to move out. You need to get out from under that lease. Okay. If you can at all move out, you need to get out from under that lease, because that your health should not be affected by your living conditions like that. And if your doctors are telling you that it's the mold in your apartment, and you're showing them pictures and you have proof and everything else, then you need to get out of that apartment. And that should, I'm not a landlord tenant guy, frankly, but that should give you adequate cause to get out from your lease so that you can go get a new and better place to live. So you're not dealing with these issues. Now, let me talk about this on the same vein with apartment complexes. Apartment complexes, we all got to live in them sometimes. It is what it is. But they're notoriously bad for security, for maintenance, for things like that. Their term slumlord for a reason.
Yes.
Just like there's the term ambulance chaser, whatever. There's a term slumlord. So a lot of apartments have slumlords that own them, and they don't want to pay for mold. They don't want to pay for security. They don't want to pay things like that. So actually, true story, we represent a lady who lost her son as a result of some criminal activity on an apartment complex. Actually, we represent several people, but one in particular that we represent. They found us through Grizzy. That they did. They found us through one of these, and we represent them, that she lost her son at an apartment because of inadequate security. He was killed. And so we now represent them against the apartment complex because they were not providing adequate security. And so he got killed. Yeah. And so that case is honestly in progress. We're working on it. And we hope to get a good result on behalf of her and her family for the loss of her son.
I can't wait to see what happens. Because that sends a message like, you need to be safe. You need to be safer. It's not only like suing and getting compensated. It's sometimes to take a stand so that it doesn't happen to somebody else. We have to teach them. Unfortunately, sometimes we got to hit them in the pocket to teach that lesson.
And Grizzy's making a great point. She's making a great point there. A lot of times, especially against plants, trucking companies, apartment complexes, things like that, big companies, you're not only getting compensated for the injuries that you've sustained, you're also sending a message, hey, fix your stuff. Make it more, fix it. Make it safer. Make it better. Because guess what? We don't want what happened to me or my family member happening to other people. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit you in the pocketbook. It's kind of a fine, I guess, a big fine, but I guess you could put it that way in layman's terms, that is kind of a big fine. We're making you pay. The justice system is making you pay to get your stuff straight, get your stuff fixed, take care of people so that this doesn't happen again. This kind of thing doesn't happen again. It doesn't hurt people like this. And so that's definitely something that Grizzy hit the nail on the head with that one, that it's not always about getting you compensated. It is, we want you to get compensated for your harms and losses, but it's also about sending a message to that company, to that apartment complex, to whomever, that you need to get your act together, you need to do things right, because we don't want this happening to somebody else. And a lot of times, as every Hood News peeps knows, that a lot of times people don't listen until you hit them in the pocketbook. And so, that's just human nature. And so we, people like us, that's what we got to do.
We have people speeding through apartments, killing little kids. We've got people shootings that could have been prevented because people have already gone to the office to complain. Hey, put some cameras over here, man. We're getting robbed every other day. Hey, these kids are breaking in, and I'm scared I'm going to get shot by one of them. Like, there's already been a confrontation. I posted a video. A guy's tires were getting stolen, and the kids were armed. And he stepped out, and you could hear the shots that the kids fired at him. And he'd already been complaining so much, like, hey, close the gates, make us require to the access code. Don't make it so easy for the guys to just run up into our apartment complex.
So if you have an incident, 100%, 100%. So if you have an incident where you've been telling your apartment, now what you want to do is, if you have incidents like that, a lot of criminal activity, a lot of vandalism, whatever, you want to make a written note to your apartment complex, an email, a note, whatever, that you want to say, hey, this is happening. We are putting you on notice that we want you to take care of this. Then, if they don't fix it and something bad happens, which could happen, this guy's luckily he didn't get hit by one of those stray bullets or, by those kids. Then if something bad happens from that, you then have a lot of evidence to go against those people to say, hey, we've been telling you and you weren't listening, so now you're going to listen. And we're going to make you listen. And so that's the way things unfortunately have to go sometimes, and that's the way things work. But you got to send a message, but do your part. If something's happening, if you're seeing a lot of thefts, hey, these criminal activities are happening. We're asking you to fix the gates, fix the lights, put security cameras up, whatever. Do these things, let them know that these things are happening so that you have evidence, and there's evidence in the file that, hey, so if we get a corporate representative of that apartment complex saying, hey, you're the owner or you're the representative of the apartment complex, did you know that 10 times before we told you to fix this and you didn't do it? Well, why not? And so then they're like, so you're holding them accountable for actions that they didn't do.
Document.
Yes. It's a pain in the butt. Takes time out of your day. We understand that, but it can help you down the road. It can help somebody else down the road. Because guess what? Even if you are seeing a lot of criminal activity in your apartment or your office building or whatever, and you tell somebody that, hey, you tell the management that something bad happened and somebody else gets hurt, it can help their case later on, that they can, even if it's not you, it can help their case later on because these incidents were reported and things like that. So same thing with daycare. Same thing. Here's another incident. Daycares.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a case from Grizzy also that somebody got sexually assaulted, horrible, at a daycare. And so a lot of times a daycare, especially if you're making notes that they've had reports and things, daycares aren't perfect. Again, nothing's perfect. There are a lot of great daycares out there that take care of your children, take care of your kids like they're your own. But there's a lot of them that aren't. Or they're overworked and they're understaffed or whatever. And so they're not paying proper attention to your children. And so if things like that happen, you can sue daycares. Like your kid falls down, breaks their arm, and it's because they weren't paying attention to them, or or they get cut, or
they were giving the kids CBD gummies.
That's right.
Seriously, y'all.
That's right. That did happen.
CBD gummies.
They're giving them CBD gummies or whatever. They're doing something they shouldn't do. You can definitely hold that daycare accountable, and that's something that we have experience doing also. We can definitely hold daycares accountable. Any business that's not doing what they should be doing is something that we can definitely get a free consultation if you have an issue with it, and we can see if we can help. Free plug, Hollingsworth Law Firm, 713-637-4560 or hollingsworthlawfirm.com.
All right. Anything else? Let me see. A, what's up with it, Hood News peeps?
Anybody else got a question?
Yeah, let me look. Where are you located?
Where am I located?
Yes.
We are located currently at 1415 North Loop West, North Loop 610, but we'll be moving next week to Tacoma and 290 basically.
Yeah.
So we got
not too far.
Not too far. 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Literally 5 minutes away. So we got a building over there that we'll be moving into a bright and shiny, newly renovated building.
Excited,
Oh yeah,
yes.
it's been a pain to get there, but we're getting there.
They got bandits on everything. They're already like
bandits,
you're already being christened and baptized,
yes,
friend. Yes.
Baptism by fire.
Yes.
So yeah, but we'll be moving over there next week. We'll probably be having some announcements. Hopefully a grand opening party when everything gets settled. Something
that'd
like
be
that.
nice. Yeah, we should do one with the peeps. Have them come
definitely.
by for tacos or something.
Yeah, definitely get a taco truck, all that. And so yeah, we're located. The easy answer is we're located on the north side. But if you want to find us, I think we just posted the phone number 713-637-4560. Hollingsworth Law Firm on the internet. Hollingsworth Law Firm on Instagram. Hollingsworth Law Firm on YouTube. Hollingsworth Law Firm on TikTok. Hollingsworth Law Firm on Facebook. All of them. Hollingsworth Law Firm. Just go find us. One thing, our YouTube page has really been going up lately, so we appreciate all the subscribers there.
Follow him on YouTube.
Yeah, go give us a follow, give us a like. We really appreciate that. You know, just like y'all really give Grizzy a lot of follows and a lot of likes and things like this. We really appreciate it too.
And you do commentary these days. I've been watching your videos. Like, hey, his videos are fun, y'all. Like, I've been watching.
We try to have fun with them. You know, we try to have fun with them to the degree that we're giving you educational content. But we also, you know, we don't want this to be boring. You just having to sit here and look at me all day, right? So we want to give you the best, give you information with a little twist of fun if we can. And you know, we're not dancing, but we're definitely trying to give good information about things in our videos. So you know, go follow us, and we can give you information. You may not need it now, but you may need it someday. And also, we don't just stick. You know, we only do personal injury. That's all we do, 100%. But we're versed and we're experienced in other aspects, so we give other aspects, you know, criminal law, things like that. So if you're just needing information, go follow us. We can get you that information. And if you do need help in one of those areas, then give us a call, contact us. We can get you a referral. We work with a lot of great lawyers that handle other areas of the law too. But we specialize in personal injury because that's what we're really good at, and that's what we've done for a long time. So, you know, that's what we do. That's our bread and butter.
Yes. Hollingsworth Law Firm, they can handle the complex aspects of your cases, you know, for medical bills, lost wages, pain, suffering, damages to your vehicle, all those things. They are a one-stop shop for you to get that help that you need. Make sure you're calling them today. Keep that number saved. Keep a screenshot, you know, this live video, whatever you need, it's in there in the caption as well.
Yeah.
You want somebody that you can trust, somebody with experience who's worked the other side of the field.
Yeah, I used to represent companies like, so this is how I can talk about it, because I used to represent companies like Coca-Cola, Geico, Allstate, Sedgwick, who else? A lot of big ones, a lot of big companies that I used to represent when I was representing insurance companies. That now I know how to go help them on your behalf.
Yes. Somebody's just asked something about civil. Does he take civil cases? That's
a broad question. I appreciate the question. It's a broad question, but if you have a question about it,
call him today.
You can call us. If we can help you, we can. If we can't, I'll tell you that, and I'll hopefully point you in a direction that somebody can help you. But you know, that's a broad question.
Yes. All right, Hood News peeps, y'all stay tuned. Anything else you want to tell the peeps?
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate all this. We really appreciate all the likes and the follows and watching us and taking time out of your day. And I know Grizzy appreciates you taking time out of your day to watch her and watch what she's doing.
My first sponsor from day one, y'all.
Day one, first sponsor. We knew we had a good thing.
That's it's smart.
You know, they came to us about a year and a half ago, and you know we knew we had a good thing, so we wanted to help Grizzy. She's growing fast, growing a lot, and doing a great job. She's out there in the community, giving a lot back, and we wanted to be a part of that. And so we've been a part of that for, going on a year and a half now, right?
Since day one,
it doesn't feel like it, but it has been.
Yeah.
And so she's really grown. We've really grown together. So we really appreciate her. We really appreciate what she does for the community. We really appreciate all y'all's follows and likes, because that's, you know, Grizzy wouldn't have a page if y'all didn't follow and like her, right? You know, and we wouldn't have a firm if y'all wouldn't hire us. So, so that's the way things go, and we really appreciate it. And we all try to give back to the community how we can. You don't always agree with us, and you don't always agree with Grizzy. I know that, but hey, we're out there to help how we can.
Yes, Hollingsworth can help you explore all your legal options. You know, all the complexities of your case. He will listen. He's got the team determined to help. and call them today. What's the phone number, friend?
Phone number 713-637-4560. Website, hollingsworthlawfirm.com. Just look for my pretty face and you'll see it.
There you go. El Patrón de la Ley.
El Patrón de la Ley. We're actually about to introduce our Spanish channels so we can help Hispanic, Spanish-speaking individuals. We already can. 90% of our staff speak Spanish. Yeah. My Spanish is bad. I don't even run from that. I know just enough to get by. But our 90% of our staff speak Spanish, and so we're about to launch the Spanish channels on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all that. So
That's
we're
cool.
really going to be targeting. Trying to help that community as much as we can because we know it's a growing and thriving community in Houston.
And we'll be sharing some of those videos too. I look forward to that.
Yeah. And so definitely can help that. Also the Asian community, Chinese, Vietnamese, whoever lives in the community, we can help those people that speak those languages. Definitely. So we're out there to help how we can. Hollingsworth can help, I guess is the way we say it. And we're so 713-637-4560, hollingsworthlawfirm.com. We really appreciate what Grizzy does, and we really appreciate the platform that she's built. And we can help each other. So that's about it. But we appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thank you, friend. Somebody says taking notes. That's right, friend. Thank you.
Please do.
Yes. All right. Stay tuned. More hood news on the way. I got an update on the story of a story that I posted. Stay tuned, friends. It's going to be juicy.